Hey, it's your girl Michelle,
And I'm London Monique.
and you're now tuned into a Black Woman's Avenue.
Today's quote is: Your voice has a great power. Don't be afraid to utilize it when needed. You're not an angry black woman. You're a woman who has something important to say. Your voice matters, and so do you. Stephanie Lightheart. Our subject today is finding your voice.
I love this because I feel like it is a developing, evolving thing that everyone faces. So yeah, I love that. For you, what would you say finding your voice is? Like, what would you consider that?
I would consider finding your voice is basically kind of discovering yourself, being more vocal on your likes and dislikes. Let's see here.
I think that's true.
What is
So when I Googled it, so of course Google gave the like well-rounded answer to like cover all platforms. So it was just like speaking up for yourself, discovering your singing voice, I feel like obvious, or becoming more authentic. So I gravitated towards the whole thing because finding your voice can mean many things. Obviously, if you're a singer or something, but we're not talking about that. So I gravitated more towards the becoming more authentic because I feel like in that phrase itself, that's just a different way of how you can say finding your voice. Because I feel like when you're finding your voice, you're more authentic self. You're showing yourself more. You're just being more true to yourself. So I liked it that Google had that definition, or I guess observation or whatever of what finding your voice could mean.
Okay, so you said the more authentic part. I can agree with that because I feel like that's what you want your voice to be, authentic.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I would say that's what it means for me is being true to yourself, finding yourself, and whatever that looks like. I'm trying to think specifically for me because I was a young mom opposite of London, so I felt like finding my voice was different. I mean, I'm sure everybody experiences it, but I feel like mine was a little bit different because I was a mom and I was a young mom, so I was just into that. So I didn't really find my voice until I grew up and my kids grew up a little bit more. So I just noticed that about myself because I was just more so doing everything for my family at the time. So I wasn't really doing anything for myself. I wouldn't say not that I was speaking up, but I was just more timid, more structured in the sense of this is the routine for my family. This is what fits the kids, blah, blah, blah. So I wasn't trying to disrupt any of that at the time in my life to quote unquote speak up or find my voice, if that makes any sense.
Okay, so let's talk about the journey of finding your voice through parenthood. After the kids growing up, and because they say as a parent you get lost in your being a mother. You know what I mean? So what was your journey of finding your voice through parenthood?
Yeah, I want to say I feel like obviously you should be a good parent. I'm just going to put that out there. But I feel like not giving people a excuse at all for the bad parents or anything. And I don't know how I want to say this because I don't want to like say anything about the bad parents. But I feel like just becoming a parent in general, whether you're a overbearing parent and you're just super protective, or you're a more laid back parent, or whatever that may be. I feel like becoming a parent in general is a beautiful, traumatic experience, and it's something that you've never done before. Like so it's like you go to school your whole life. You know you might want to go to college, but you still have some type of reference of schooling. When you become a parent, you don't really have a reference because you've never been a parent before. I mean, you might have been a big sister, big sibling, or whatever, but the true responsibility, like even naming the kid, you're like, oh my God, like this is a person. Like, what do I name this? Like, this is gonna be their life, their name, their whole being. So I just feel like just being a parent in general, whether you're fully in or you're just truly, because I feel like at first I wasn't truly in as a parent. I mean, at first I love my kids, but what I mean by that is I was a parent just strictly off of the parent routine, just strictly off of this is what I got to do because I'm a parent. My kids were young. They wasn't even in sports or anything like that yet. And I was just tired and overwhelmed from that aspect of it, from just being a parent because I got to go to work, because I got to work this certain schedule. So just that. So it changes as a parent. I feel like you really do have to, they say, they call it for women postpartum. But I feel like in general, men and women have that, and because maybe it needs to be a better name or something. But because parenting is hard, man. But yeah, you just lose yourself in that. You just lose yourself in the routine and the identity of a parent. You lose yourself in. All right, that's how. So I feel like it's a difference between getting stuck and being like, people are like, oh, they just settled in their life, or like you go to John Eagle, or you go to wherever you might work, and people been there for 30, 40 plus years. And it's like, sometimes I used to judge them a lot because I'd be like, I don't want to be that person. But sometimes you don't know a person's life. And sometimes it's hard being a parent, and certain schedules and things really fit. And then next thing you know, you find yourself at a job 20 years later, some years later, just because it really benefited your family and your kids. So you really couldn't, or at least you felt like in your mental, you really couldn't leave that because that's fair. I've been having this job and this structure, and if I leave, then who's going to pick my kids? Who's going to watch you know what I mean? So that's a whole thing. But for me, I feel like, because the question I'm sorry, I'm a little bit long-winded, but this kind of bleeds into a question that I also was going to say of like, what is the thing that you notice that you always had in your voice? So for me, I noticed that I always kind of been like a fighter, been like a protester or advocate or whatever. Because I knew that's not what I wanted. Like, I was that person. I was in this job for almost 10 years and just doing it because it really fit my kids' life. But I literally remember crying because it felt like I couldn't go back to school. It felt like I couldn't do anything and I was with their dad at the time, the whole family thing. But it was just like, mom's working mornings, mom's picking the kids up from daycare, doing the dinner, doing homework, and then dad's going to work at night. So that was the partnership of it all. So I felt like I really couldn't do anything. But the fighter in me, the advocate in me was just like, no, this is not what you want to do. I had no plans. I was just like, I'm just going to put my 2 weeks notice in. I think I did have another job or something, but it was just something so different of what I had to do. And, but I don't know, my spirit was just like, yeah, you got to get out of here. Like, I just didn't want to be that person to be there for 10 plus years doing something that I didn't love or I didn't like. And it wasn't a bad job. It was very easy. It was good for my kids' schedule, but that was part of my speaking up for myself and finding my voice within myself. Like, wasn't nobody downplaying me or anything. That was just me noticing that in myself, and my spirit always makes room for that, whether I know it or like it. And that was part of my journey as a mother and myself. And now that my kids are older, I find myself having more time and having more fear, because for the first time in my life, I have time to do those things that I used to cry about. Like, I used to cry about, I don't have time to go back to school. I used to cry about, my kids are so big and who's going to do this. And they're so small, who's going to do this and who's going to do that. But now they're older and they can fend for themselves. They can cook, they can catch the bus, they about to be driving. It's just a whole different realm. So now I feel like that college kid that I didn't really get to be, that now I get to figure out what I want to be when I grow up, even though I'm grown and I'm doing things. Yeah. But now I just have a lot of time on my hands that I didn't have before. So it's just like, it's unlimited. So I have to learn how to use that because I didn't have that before. So that is, so that's me finding my voice. It's evolving, it's developing, and it's always been there though. So
were you kind of nervous when you became a mother? You had to have a voice for you and your child your first child. Like, even though you have, your children, for your first child, you've been a fresh mom, you already have your voice that you're working on, but now you have to speak up for you and your child. Was that difficult, or like was it like mother instance, like this is my child, this is where it's going to go? Because in the hospital they try to dictate a lot of things.
It was a little bit of both. I definitely feel like I was truly blessed with my first child because I had a lot of walking angels by me that just made it more awesome. But I feel like, I guess in the sense of when you have your first child, you might have to speak up to your family or to just people that they might already be parents and they might be right or something. But it's like, you're the mom. How would you feel if somebody told you what to do with your kid?
Right.
But at the same time, you are a new mom, so you do get a lot of that unwilling, unwanted advice, and it'd be like, I just don't want it right now. Like, you might be right, or you might be wrong, or you might be right, and I just like my way better. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, who are you to tell me anything? But yeah, because I didn't really do my kids' hair right away. I was kind of like on my Beyonce with my baby's fro. But then like the older grandparents or whatever might braid their hair or get their hair cut or something. So those are like ways that you find your voice might not be heard as a parent, because the older generations, elders might be like, oh, well, you gotta get that baby's hair done or whatever. He's walking around looking a mess. It's like, no, he wasn't. Like, he just had his natural fro. That's what I wanted for my child. Like, so those are just like little examples I could think about. But yeah, I feel like anything, and then sometimes health wise, because you hear all these stories of, oh, don't get your babies in what's it called, immunization. Yes, thank you. Don't do that. So it's like, what do I do? Because at first, when you don't have kids, or even before you have, I don't know, but sometimes I feel like it's always easier to say what you will and won't do before you have a kid. And then when you have a kid, it's like, damn, do I want my kid to get sick? What if they do? So it's like, maybe I do want to get this shot right now. Or so sometimes I do find myself, I won't get a shot. I'll just play next time, or like I'll be like at our next visit or something like that. But that's truly just because I'm battling in my head, like, damn, like I remember, or is this debate? And so it's like, do I do it? Is it wrong? Is it right? But it's like, truly just do what's best for you and your child and your family, because everybody's gonna have an opinion. Everybody does their own thing differently. But yeah, those are little examples how your family can like mess with you when you have a kid and try you. Like,
yeah. I would say my journey to finding my voice was speaking up for myself. I never really spoke up for myself. I was always, I don't want to say a yes person, but I was more so of a go with the flow type of person. Mm. So it was like, I might have not wanted to do something, but it was just like, me not doing it is probably going to have an effect that I don't want to deal with later on. Not even like a bad effect, but like, oh, you don't want to do X, Y, and Z with me, so now you got to deal with an attitude. So I would just did shit just because I didn't want to deal with the consequences. Not even consequences, but the whatever came with it. So finding my voice was more so learning to stand up and speak up for myself, which is a lot. I gravitate towards, I don't know exactly what it's called when you adapt to someone's personality. It's something like I want to say it has something to do with a little autism, but I always been that person. I gravitated to other people's personality. I didn't have an identity. Mm-hmm. So like, I knew there are certain things I didn't want to do, and you couldn't peer pressure me to do it. So like, I used my voice on that part. Like, you're not gonna peer pressure me to do what I don't want to do. Like, as far as that, but like any other thing, like just speaking up for myself when I didn't want to do anything, or no, I don't want to do this. No, I don't want that. Setting boundaries, because I still to this, I ain't gonna say still to this day, but me not executing my voice or utilizing my voice, a lot of people stepped over boundaries. A lot of boundaries. Because I didn't have boundaries because I didn't have a voice. So I let people do whatever they wanted and didn't express my feelings. So they kept repeatedly doing the things that I didn't agree to. And then I finally got sick of it, found my voice, and yeah. So that was the part of the journey of me finding my voices, just finding who I am as a person and just putting that out there, like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But what are some obstacles you might have faced with finding it?
I feel like I'm just tearing down other people's perception of me, because a part of a part of me being a mom, and because that was just my identity, that's who I am. A lot of people.
You're more than just a mommy.
I mean, that's true, but back then, I mean, whatever. Y'all understand what I'm trying to say. But back then, like, I guess people would. So my kids were, all right, what I'm trying to say is, sorry, y'all, I'm all stuttering. But what I'm trying to say is my kids were younger and I was working, whatever. Life was happening. So I couldn't shop and do whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I had kids. I wasn't out here going to the mall and ordering clothes and stuff for myself like that. It was what it was. So, like, literally, me and my baby daddy's getting into arguments because he would make little comments, even if it was a joke or something. Like, yeah, she don't know how to dress or whatever it might be. But it would really trigger me because I'm like, I know how to dress. I'm just fucking poor, and I got all these kids, and I'm like, and I can't do it. I'm like, I wish I could go buy what I wanted to buy, but I just couldn't. So that was like that was a real thing, an argument. I mean, in our relationship at one point in time, like literally, I remember my friend Jolie, because she came over, and he said something in a playful manner, and I like got upset, but it was like about my clothes or something, or just me dressing up in general, and she was just like, "Dang, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cause argument," or whatever. I was like, "You're fine, you didn't." And even like, you know, you have like aunts or whatever, you know, elders that give clothes out or purses or whatever. And this one time, my aunt, she was just giving everybody stuff. Oh, this purse is for you. I know you would like this. This shirt's for you. I know you would like this. And when it came to me, she was just like, "Oh, you don't go nowhere." And she just gave me like, I can't remember what she gave me. It was just something not. It wasn't on the level of what she gave them. I'm like, what? They all like ball, you know, they leveled up. Like, what did I get a fucking sock or well, I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't what she gave everybody else. But yeah, that made me feel some type of way because I'm like, damn, do I really not? It's not that I don't want to dress up. It's just my kids are so small, and I was just really in that mom mode and working, so I couldn't go nowhere. And then, like I said, he was working, so I wasn't, like, going out partying with all my friends. So now it's funny, because now my kids are older, and all my friends my age, even cousins, some cousins, are now having kids. So it's, like, the opposite. Now they can't go out, and they're the ones that's stressed or going through the mommy blues. And, you know, I'm the one that's outside, because my kids are older. So it is very interesting. But, yeah, that used to really trigger me, because I'm like, the fuck, just because I'm a mom, I can't, like, I want to do stuff. Like, help me out then. The fuck, I can't get it myself. So, yes, of course I wanted that gift. Like, what are you talking about? I was pissed. That was a real big one for me. And then, and that's how I started. I always did my hair, because I always knew how to do my hair, but it was always the same thing. I would just do a sew-in, long hair, you know, bust down, period. That was it. But then I've had kids. Part of it was because I was hiding from my kids. I used to hide in the bathroom. And, you know, do my little mom thing, whatever, watch Wendy Williams. But I would watch YouTube tutorials. That's how I started, like, learning how to do makeup. And that's how I started doing different stuff on my hair. Like, doing my natural hair and just doing braids. I just learned how to do stuff. So that was part of me finding my voice. Because now, doing my hair is definitely one of my coping skills. Like, that's something that I do just to calm myself down, or if I know I just want to look better or feel better about myself. Like, doing my hair is just really like a hobby for me now. It's more than just I'm gonna do my hair, because I don't know, I just do it now. Just really embedded in me, and it just became like a common skill to keep me calm or whatever. Like, I don't have to be mad. That's not what I mean by common skill. Just help me. But yeah. So all those examples were something that I had to break down from people, my own perception, other people's perception of me, to help me find my voice and figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still.
Hey, you know, it's a growing process. This segment is
because I'm like, girl, not you giving out purses and fucking nice ass shirts, and I wish I remember what specifically she gave me. But give me a plant or something. It was something like whack. Man.
So other than vocally using your voice, is there any other way you expressed your voice? Like for me, in my household, you know, growing up in a black household, they always tell you like you're not really like they tell you that your voice is not heard, but basically stay in the child's place. What goes on in his house stays in his house. Da da da. So I used to express my voice by writing notes and leaving them on the table for my mom to read. Because I feel like
I want to do that in theory, but I never did it.
it was just like I don't know if I like testing the water. Like I don't know if I can come to you vocally or like what's going to come back to me. But I used to literally every time I felt some type of way, I used to just write it down, leave it on the kitchen table, or leave it somewhere where I know she's like going to clean it up and be like, well, what is this? What is this paper and what is all this? So that's another way I used to utilize my voice without being vocal to express my way, express how I felt to my mom. And I think that kind of dwindled down to me now writing songs. Because, I hear a beat. I'm like, let me write. And whether it's what I'm going through personally, what someone else is going through, or just anything. Like now I gravitated to writing songs. I ain't going to say I'm a hit maker, but I might be a hit maker soon. But like, what other ways did you express your voice without being vocal?
I guess singing. I don't sing to people, but that's a way for me to find my voice sometimes. Because sometimes I put on a song, I just need to hear this so I can see where I want to be today or how I want to feel and present myself to the world. But growing up, I didn't really write a lot. I wrote to my 5th grade teacher because she was on that. But in my household, my mom wasn't on that. But I was able to talk to my mom, though. But I wasn't able to talk to her about boys. That's the only thing she drew the line. Yeah. Or at least she made me feel like that. But if I wanted to talk to her about, like, oh, Woo's got on my nerves, he's your favorite, or whatever, like, literally, that's still like a running joke to us. You always say, Woo's your golden, because that's how I used to say to her, yeah, that's your golden child. Why is he, I hate him. But I could talk to her about stuff like that, and I could talk to her about school stuff or whatever, but I just couldn't be like, yeah, I think this boy likes me, or I like this boy, or I couldn't talk to her like that, because it was just like, I knew she was like, no, you better not have a boyfriend, but I find my parents were actually pretty accepting for the most part. My dad was in jail, but even before he was in jail, he was pretty, I feel like my dad's more like a forward speaker, so he don't like beat it, so he don't beat it on the bush, so he'd be like, I remember being young, he was like, do you like sex? And I was just like, oh. I was like, oh, damn, all right. But my mom, like, she don't even say pregnant. She just be like, is you sick? Like, I remember when we grew up and London first got on birth control, she was just like, is London sick? And I was like, no, Mom, she's just on birth control. But it's just certain words she don't be saying. I don't know, but so that was different. So I don't know. I'm trying to really think, because I think the vocal was always there for the most part. It was always me. It was always just me not maybe feeling confident enough to speak up, because I come from I feel like compared to my family, I mean, I'm just as crazy as them, but I'm more quiet. But everybody else is out here. Like, for a long time, people didn't even know who my brothers were. But everybody knew my brothers. But literally, we all from the same, we all lived together. But people I went to school with, older than me, younger than me, whatever, they know my brothers. And then they look at me and be like, oh, those are your brothers for real? Because people know me as a jokester. I feel like people only really know me from school.
Or being a parent.
Yeah, so they don't really know me for real. Like, for real. Like, they don't really know my personality.
Right. They really Michelle with the kids?
Yeah, for real. Michelle Brown, like, my whole life has been Michelle Brown. Now at work, it's literally Michelle Brown. But
full circle.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so they like, if you know me for real, they know I'm a jokester. So I'm like, Michelle, is that really your brother you're playing? I'm like, yeah. Like
y'all two totally different. I'm like, no, we kind of the same a little bit, but yeah.
Girl, so for the most part, I was quiet because I feel like everybody else around me was so loud, and they all had those personalities. Yeah. So I didn't know how to be like that. Like, I still say that now to this day. I feel like I don't know how to really.
Okay. The black sheep.
Yeah, in a sense, because I feel like I'm just not. Like, obviously, I'm not talking to people. I'm nice, I'm kind, but I feel like for my family, it comes more natural. But I feel like for me, at least inside my head, I don't know what y'all see on the outside. But, I mean, sometimes, of course, conversation is more natural. And then also, I'm more of an energy person. So if I feel like my energy is really clicking with you, then the conversation could be more natural. But I just don't know how to play the game and do all that stuff. So for a long time, I feel like I hid my voice just because I wasn't trying to talk to people because I knew they wasn't genuine, or I knew because I wasn't like in that crowd. I wasn't a popular kid. I wasn't the it kid. I didn't have a problem with that. I
For
like
you not to be a popular kid, everybody knew who Michelle Brown was.
that's crazy. But I feel like because of my friends, like you, Carmela, like y'all were the ones that everybody knew, and I was just the associate. I was just there by what's it called when you do a crime, but guilty by association. Like, that's it. Like that was it. Because literally, I remember everybody having. Except for you, I never really had this situation. But with like Carmela and John Love and all, I literally remember them having conversations with other people where they'd be like, "Why do you hang out with Michelle?" Like, and they'll be like, "Cause she's funny," or "That's my friend," or something like that. And they will come back and tell me, or maybe it'll be a sleepover or something. I'll overhear them talking about me in a room or something. Like, why are you friends with her? But it wasn't like I was a bad person. I just wasn't popular. I wasn't.
The thing was, I wasn't popular either. People knew me from track. I didn't hang with the crowd. Like, I was the kid in orchestra.
Yeah, I saw my cousin.
I was the black girl in orchestra. Like,
that's hilarious. I was the black girl choir, but there was other people in choir too.
But it's like, you know, I didn't hang with the crowd. I didn't want to be around the crowd because everybody was so fake and not genuine. And like us growing up, and there was so many different schools in our community, I didn't resonate to those people or gravitate to those people. So I always stuck to myself after I stopped hanging with the crew that I actually grew up with from where I was from. It was like, girl, you alone. So it's like, do I trust these people? They would even invite me places, and I'd be like, do I show? And I think that's why I show up to people's events, even if they like when they invite me, I show up. Obviously, they want me there, but like, I used to question like, is this a setup? Because we don't talk. So how did I get invited?
That's hilarious. That's why I show up too, and I dress.
Oh, it got me fucked up. But no, and also going back to finding your voice without being vocal. As for artists, they paint pictures or they draw.
Oh yeah, you know, that was a good. I like that.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, there's many different ways of finding your voice without being vocal.
I guess that's something I did, because I did start doing furniture.
Yeah. You're good.
I used to be depressed. Well, I don't know if I was depressed, but again, it goes back to being a mom. And I used to be like, I gotta find something to do in this goddamn house with these kids. And that's how that came about. So yeah, okay, so I guess non-vocally doing furniture, because that helped me. Yeah, that helped me find my voice, because now I feel like I know. Yeah, I'm expressing myself. I know what to do when I'm doing it. Because literally, oh my goodness, me and my baby's dad got into an argument one time. We wasn't together, but whatever. He was at my house, and my closet fell. And because we had broke up for, at this point we already been broke up for like a year and a half or whatever. But, and then he was in jail, blah, 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 life went on. So he just did not know me as Michelle the Bob the Builder or whatever. So he's just like trying to be a man, mansplain, and tell me what to do. And I'm like, bruh, like I'm trying to kindly tell him like, oh, I got this. I already know what I'm doing. And again, he just and I just literally had to like explode on him a little bit. Like, I know what I'm doing, sir. Like, get the fuck away. Like, because it was making me mad, because it's like, you don't know me now. And thank you for trying to fix it, or I don't know if you're trying to fix it or you're trying to, I don't know, maybe I took it as he was downplaying me or something, but I feel like he just didn't hear me. And I'm like, I don't need your input, because I know exactly how to fix this. Like, this is my realm now. This is my happy place. This is what I discovered about myself. I'm sorry that you have not met this person, but this is what it is, and now you're about to find out. So just beat it. Like, so yeah, so that was something that was one of the first times I realized that. And I was like, oh, this man, even though we've been together for so long and got...
That was the old body.
Together, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, hey! You don't even know me no more, bro.
Right, it's not the same. Right. So how would you say you found your voice or identify your voice as a black woman?
Oh my goodness, I love being a black woman so much. I really do. I feel like it's the best thing ever. So I feel like I discovered that. Because when I was younger, because, you know, growing up around white people and stuff. Yes, we did. And in the school. And then, you know, I was a Disney kid. So I literally remember. And I have no sisters. So I literally remember watching, like, Disney on movies and stuff. You know, all they little corny comebacks. I was like, all right, somebody get smart with me. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say when I go to school. get beat the fuck up. But that ain't happened though. But I just ain't Santa Claus. That's corny. But damn, I'm sorry. What was the question? I messed up.
How do you finding your voice or identifying as a black woman?
Oh yeah. So I truly love being a black woman. I feel like me being a black woman is just speaking on black people, speaking on black women, giving black women compliments, accepting compliments from black women, not being petty, because I feel like we all, sometimes people just be petty. So you just gotta rise above that, and even if they are being petty, it's like, oh, thank you so much, and move on about your day because you still gave it. So I'm gonna move on, and you live in whatever energy you were trying to give off, and I'm gonna internalize that it's positive because you took the time out to say something to me. But I normally I don't have beef though, but that's just for the girls that be out here on that beef stuff. But but I'm a pretty positive person. But I feel like that's what I do. I just always try to talk about it in some type of way, form, or fashion. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even realize it. I used to work at CVS, Caremark, like to approve the drugs and stuff. And I didn't have nothing crazy. And I just had like a bang and I had like a fishtail. It was like a high pony fishtail that came down. But the fishtail, the bang was regular, but the fishtail was like, had a little pop of color. Not nothing crazy. But back then I was into like gray. I was into like the gray and black look. But so it was like the fishtail had gray in it. I remember some dude, he was black. He was just like, yeah, I love how bold you is. Like, you're just not afraid to be black. Or he's basically, that's what he said. I can't remember how he said it. But I'm like, wow, you're like, yeah, period. So I guess that's how I always showed up. Like, I was never like a crazy color person or whatever for my hair. Not that it matters, but I feel like that's how I use my voice as a black woman. Like, if you're accepting me, if I'm working here, if I'm going to church here, or if I'm dating you, whatever, like, you're going to get all these black hairstyles, and I'm going to switch it up, and it's going to be like that. So that's how one way that I actually show my identity through being a black woman. Yeah, but I truly didn't think it was because it really was not a crazy hairstyle. But to corporate America, to white America, I'm working at CVS, approving drugs for people. Right. So to them, it's probably like, oh, like that is a little like out here for us. But I'm like, no, like it's my hairstyle, and it's literally just one. Literally pop. It was the smallest pop of color. It wasn't nothing crazy, but that's what the black dude there that worked there. He told me that he was like, yeah, I love how you just not afraid. He said some shit like that, and I realized that even though at my job now, they be like, you change. They always asking me, is that a wig or because I work with deaf kids, so they be very blunt. But But yeah, they'll say, well, you change your hair grow, wow, or you got braids now, or yeah. But yeah, so I just always try to bring out my black identity no matter where I go, because yeah, you're gonna get this black woman, you're gonna get this authentic black woman, because this is what black is. It's we change our hair up, we have natural hair, we have curly hair, we have short hair. You're gonna get all of it. Like you're gonna get this body type, not on the sexual type shit, because everybody makes it, but it's just like. At the end of the day, I'm a black woman. I can't help that my body is how it is. Like this is you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not trying to turn you the fuck on. I'm not trying to be a sex symbol or anything, but this is just a black fucking body. That's what it is. So either accept it or move the fuck on. Stop trying to make me something that you want for yourself. Like, but this is my body. I live in it every goddamn day. I find my voice in it, and I'm gonna give black woman and black excellence and all that, especially when I see it. And I just truly love black people. I love the way we talk. I love the
this is really her. Like every time we go into a black, like she said, like she's like pro black, like 100% down.
I love it. Even the black meme, literally, I was on Instagram the other day just watching Whitney Houston, and somebody commented. It was a black person. They was like, no, Whitney Houston ain't got no reason being dead. And I was like, for real though. I just love how we talk. I just love it. It's just beautiful. I love being in groups of black people. I don't care what city I'm in. Like, yeah, everybody's just dope as hell. Like, we was in Detroit. We was going somewhere to a comedy show. One comedy show was leaving, and other people was going there. And then everybody just like, okay, sis, I see you. They was just like so much. Like, I just love that. Yeah.
Like, one thing about it, a black woman is going to cheer on another one, whether you're white or black or whatever your ethnicity is. A black woman is definitely going to spark that. Yes, sis.
That part, I love that so much. So, absolutely, I love being a black woman, and yeah, that's my favorite part about myself.
So, me identify as a black woman, it seems like I don't want to say I don't want to say I'm like ignorant to it. Like I feel like I don't want to say I'm whitewashed.
Cheers, y'all. So I'm just like, she alright, but
I'm learning. But my first experience is really like not identifying as a black woman, but really sticking up as a black woman is I used to work at a school, and I was the only black staff. So like, it was predominantly black children, and it was more so of a poverty area of the district, well, whatever. So like, I used to have to explain to white people like, this ain't right. Y'all know, like, I had a student come to school for like a week's worth of, he was just getting dark, like just dirt. It was dirt, and I could tell, but they couldn't tell that he was dirty. So this little boy had on like a watch that one staff had gave him, to the point that he wasn't washing, and you could tell that he wasn't washing because the lithium battery started to eat at his skin.
Mm.
So he was like, sitting next to me, and I'm working with him one-on-one, and like I see the watch chafing off of his skin, and I could see like his actual skin color versus the dirt around him. So like I'm already like, what we about to do? I said, because I'm agency. I was agency, so you have to follow the school protocol. Even though I'm a mandated reporter and everything in the situation, they have their own protocol that you have to follow. You just can't go out of order. Chain of command. So I go to the teacher. I'm like, yo, like the lithium battery is eating at this kid's skin. You can see the complexion of his natural skin versus what's around it. And she was like, she wasn't unaware that the kid was dirty. And I don't know if they don't teach ethnicity in college when you become a teacher, diversity, because there was a lot of explaining I had to do working in a school district that these Caucasian men and women didn't know. Like, we can't do this as a black person as for a white person because X, Y, Z. So like that's when I really start more getting to my black woman roots, dealing with that situation, because it was like, y'all white folks don't understand. You may say you do, or like it was a lot of questions like, well, how do you intertwine that braid, or
I'm not intertwined.
Like like stuff like that.
Hilarious.
Or
that is a white way to say how do you braid.
Or like, why do black kids come to school before we went to switch to why do they walk around in pajamas and slippers at school? Like, most of the time their parents ain't home to even see their kids walk out the door. Like, the way these kids come to school is either they got themselves dressed and nobody was home. I had a student who came to school in shorts all winter. Booty shorts. I don't know if she packed them in her book bag and got to school and just changed or put some shorts and boots on. But like, most of the kids are the way they are because their parents is not home. So I have to explain that to them. Like, don't child line them yet. Let them explain their situation. Like, you don't know what someone is going through.
Right.
So like, me bringing up my identity of a black woman is like, I really had to sit there in a room full of not in a room full of white people, but different rooms of white people, and explain black culture. Oh yes, that's my favorite. All that other stuff. So it's like, that was an eye opener, because I'm always the one be like, I'm all. I don't want to say I'm timid, but it's like, I was never the one to speak up. Like I said before, like,
right.
I was always don't want to cause no problems. But I had to be the voice and reason because I was the only black staff at that school district, well, in that school, who could understand and relate to these kids.
Right.
So yeah, that's like had to use my voice as a black, identify as a black woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had to do that at work before, twice. I mean, I'm sure more than once, but twice specifically for the black situations.
Yeah, like, so that was that. So, what I would say, do you consider your voice to be powerful?
I would say so. Yeah, I would say so, because I also feel like in general, I just carry a positive energy about myself. Because I noticed that a lot of people that I'm close to, obviously, like family or with friends or whatever, they really don't like to bring negative energy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just noticed that even when I talk to my parents or my cousins or whatever. But I think that's just because I also been through a lot, so everybody just kind of tiptoes around me. But that also is, I have to like speak up and be like, it's okay, we can talk about
Yeah.
whatever we need to talk about. Like, you don't have to worry about me being hurt or whatever. So yeah, I would say that. And then, I'm sorry, what was the question again? I keep forgetting.
Do you consider your voice to be powerful?
And then at work, yeah, I feel like it does, because it also goes back to the having to teach your culture thing. Because I feel like for black people, for black little girls, we're growing up to this one situation at work. We're black little girls normally are grown up whenever it's the summertime and you have swimsuit on that you need to wear a shirt. Just because the world, not because the girl, or because you're trying to put any expectations on her or whatever, but just strictly because the world's crazy. So at work, a lot of people didn't want this little girl. Not that they didn't want her to wear a shirt, but they're trying to make it a woman's power thing, and she has the right to decide what she needs to decide herself, blah, blah, blah. But mind you, I work with children, but children that, like, very traumatized children that have been through things in life, whether that's abuse or abandonment or whatever. So it's just like, why are we about to set this little girl up to be in a situation where she's going to feel unsafe and not protected? You know what I mean? Just because you're trying to make it a woman versus man thing. Now, granted, yeah, when she's old enough to understand that, sure, she can hold it down herself and fight the boys off and use her voice. But right now, we're her voice, and we got to protect her. So I had to really make that known, like, no, she's wearing this shirt. I'm not about to be out here and about to create some worse situations, because ain't none of y'all gonna be ready when these kids is for that situation. So ain't none of y'all gonna be ready for that situation if she don't have a shirt on. And so there's no more to be said. But but yeah, so that was the way I use my voice, because I'm just like, no, y'all not about to do this to her. And then another more simple issue was this black boy at work. It was a very innocent thing, but they were just like, oh, we're doing his hair. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's so beautiful. Like, y'all doing this black boy's hair. Y'all greasing his scalp. That's awesome. And then come to find out, they was greasing his scalp with gel.
Damn.
And I'm like, okay, I understand you're white, but gel works the same. Like, it's black, white, whatever. It's gel. It's to make your hair harder. It's to stabilize it. Like, it's not to moisturize. It's not to add liquid. You know what I mean? Like, so, but then of course they tried to make it like, oh, it's a texture thing and it's a sensory thing. I'm like, that's cool, but that's just still not the right thing. Now you're teaching bad sensory skills and you're teaching bad texture skills and all those things. Like, find the right product that has the same texture and do it with that then. But it was I learned, my job taught me how to do things respectfully whenever you have to teach people things. But yeah, so those were the two biggest times that I discovered that my voice was a little strong, specifically at those jobs. But yeah, because I'm just like, no, y'all can't be, that's crazy. Like, what's wrong with y'all?
So I would consider my voice powerful when people come to me for advice and act like I'm a therapist, even though I'm not a therapist. I feel like I can make a difference in someone's life based upon my voice, if they're being receptive of it. But in certain situations, I don't feel like my voice is powerful, because I always, like I said, always stood back and feel intimidated. But what advice would you give me to make my voice more powerful and more confident, if you have any?
Yeah, I don't really feel like you need any advice, but I feel like, I guess advice in general is when it is always, I I know it sounds cliche, but truly always stay true to yourself, because I feel like how you carry yourself is how people respect you. And I guess that's kind of what I mean by I feel like people don't come at me really negativity, because I feel like I generally carry myself upbeat, happy. Like that's my demeanor. So people don't really come to me with the fake stuff or with the catty or with the, you know what I mean, because they know that's not my personality. That's not what I'm giving that's not how I'm carrying myself. So I feel like how you carry yourself, how you show yourself to the world is part of how people respect you, and how your voice is also heard, because it's like, oh, I see London, like I see she's a hard worker, like respect. They say you gotta like, what is it? Give respect to get it or something, or you see respect or whatever. So I feel like you're a type of person that people see your personality, they see that you're working, they just see whatever you're presenting in the world that you want them to see. So therefore, that's how they move to you. So it's like, oh, let me come to her and talk to her, because I could tell.
Be strong for these people, but
that's how it be. I feel like celebrities are not. I feel like celebrities are not the only people in the world that needs to have media training, or what's the word I'm looking for, or like you know how just like celebrities are very like particular of like watching for their image. Yeah. I don't feel like that should just be a celebrity thing. That should be a people thing. Like you are, because I know for me, I take my image pretty good. Like I'm going to present, because I am, like I'm a strong black woman, I'm a normal black woman, I'm a nerd black woman, I present myself in a peaceful way. Like, don't come to me. I don't want to have a fucking. I mean, of course, everybody likes gossip, but no, I don't want to. Don't come to me with the negative stuff all the time. I don't want to have a bashing about this person. I don't want to do that. That's just not me. I want to be positive. I want to laugh more than anything. Like, I want to talk stuff like that. Like, so yeah. So I feel like that's will be my advice for you, or just for anybody in general, is to just always present yourself how you want the world to see you. And therefore the world will move how artists, and because I know I already said celebrities, but how artists or celebrities say, because I've been watching a lot of interviews, and the common thing is people always be like, your gift will make room for you. So I feel like you put yourself out there as far as your personality, what you want the world to see, and again, your personality and your gift will make room for you. So those people that's supposed to be part of your circle, they'll come to you, or you'll come to them, and you'll find them. Because I feel like that's what's been happening to me. Most of my friends, all of y'all, I didn't really come to y'all. I mean, I didn't mean to get aggressive, but truly, because I feel like I feel like all my friends, we all do share like a timidness, but at the same time, I feel like I'm the most timid out of everybody. But because for the most part, all y'all came to me in the sense where I was way too timid to really spark the friendship, or even if the friendship was there, I wasn't the one to be like, oh, stay at my house. Like literally, London was just like, oh, you should stay at my house. So I'm like, okay. and then yeah, but it was the same thing when I met Carmela. I always knew her, but then one time I was just actually at the Bailey store or whatever, and she was like, oh, take my number now, I live right there, you should come over. And then that's just how me and her became and that's how me and her became friends. And me and Julie became friends from working at John Eagle, and she was just like, basically all my friends were the ones that opened up the door to the friendship, because I was always too scared to be like, oh, you come to my house, because I'm always like, do they like me, or would they care to come over or whatever. So whenever I get the invitation, it's like, okay, they really like me or whatever. So that's how mostly all my good friendships, that's how they all really started. But so yeah,
the real ones, the ones that actually want to be bothered with
that part. And I feel like those are the ones that
the one that want to be bothered
for real. And I feel like those are the ones that truly match my personality. Like we have the same comedy, the same humor. Me, all my friends for the most part, like those are like, so it was really genuine, because God made room. My gift, my personality found space for me, and then my friends found me, and I found them, and that's just how it happened. So I feel like that's how you'll find your voice. Like, yeah.
So would you say your voice is? Oh, we were just talking about workplaces. Do you think your voice is heard at work? Because in my profession, our voice is not heard only in certain rooms. I work with, intellectual disability and mental health. So they tell us, like, don't go to the doctor's appointments putting in your opinions, even though we work with them 24/7. Yeah. But then you sit in with a supports coordinator, and they're like, give me your opinion or suggestion so that we can better assist this individual. So it's like, in certain rooms you have a voice, in certain rooms you don't.
I mean, yeah.
And in my line of work, even working for the school, it's like you can say your opinions, but are you going to implement it to the next meeting or whatever? Because I didn't get to sit in meetings after school.
Right.
Like I said, I was agency, but like, do you really think your voice is heard, or it's just like I'm looking at you and reading your lips, but I'm not taking it in?
I can say at the job I have now, I feel like my voice is heard. Maybe at my previous jobs, maybe not so much. But also I also deal with those type of kids, and then just add death to it. Um, and then I work in residential, so I feel like maybe if I work at the school, but I don't know. But maybe I feel like maybe if I was at the school where I had to deal with the teachers, because teachers have their lessons plans and they have every teacher have their own setup structure or whatever.
Right.
Whereas for residential, even though it all like meshes together, but for residential, it's like I'm truly kind of raising these kids in a sense. It's like a co-parenting situation happening. So I feel like they are a little bit more receptive because it's like, all right, it's a little bit beyond a teacher because it's like I'm really working on this kid so that way when they go to school they still know how to act.
Right.
So I feel like maybe that's why my position is a little bit more receptive to my voice, because it's like, all right, this kid is this way, I notice this, and I notice when they're hungry or when they're bored they attack or whatever. Yeah. So so I feel like those comments or things are taken in a little bit differently.
And I wish because I have a similar job to like yours, but I wish they was more receptive of our input, because we are working with them 24/7.
Yeah, I feel
and they go through a lot of transitions, and it's like, without the correct knowledge, you're setting the next person up for failure.
Right, I agree. I totally agree.
So I definitely wish that my job would take or what we say into consideration.
That's it. I feel like anytime you work with kids, you should take especially people that's actually with the kids more so than the people that's making the decisions. It's always good to take their input. So I feel like all teachers should have some type of input or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a little bit different when you work for a more like Pacific school or something. Maybe because your school was more like mainstream, where my school was more geared towards the actual therapeutic of the helping them.
But your school is a part of my school.
Yes, but in a sense that they sold their curriculum to try to help. But that's just like, so it's just like, for instance, how you got a Walmart, but you got McDonald's inside Walmart, but that's not like the whole McDonald's corporation. It's just the McDonald's is there. So it's like my job would be the McDonald's that's inside the Walmart, but it's not the Walmart itself.
Right.
They're just sharing their things. But I feel like it's good that they do that they go into other schools, because they're also in my son's school too. But I feel like they truly need people like me that's really in the field to go talk to these schools and be like, look, let me really train you on how to defend yourself, how to do this, because I don't really know what they're doing when they're talking to them schools for real. They probably just talking to them, turning them all to terms and stuff, but they ain't really getting down. They ain't really training them.
What's that thing we were talking the other day? It's something that they do. It's like a is it like the is it called a SID? It's like a, I forgot what they call it.
For what? If they're trying to kill themselves?
No, like the behavior plan. It's like not a behavior. I don't know. I'll think of it right now. I can't think of it. It's something we used to do. They used to be like, if y'all don't be quiet, we're gonna do da 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 da. It's like a Presley Ridge thing. It's like a worksheet or.
I have no idea.
You said it the other day. I'm so mad. I can't think of it, and I can't think of it right now. But anywho, moving on with the voices in the workplace. We're both from two different communities. You moved to multiple different communities, and I'm in my community. and I know we both don't do it, but huh?
Can I get there? I'm building up. She's like, what do you?
The voice inside the community. I know we both are not voices inside of our community because
I know, but I really want to be though, because I love me some Kiki Palmer. That's all I should be talking about. Is work for the community. Anyway, keep on.
you say you want to or you don't want to.
I do want to.
I would love to, but I just feel like you have to get in certain doors to be the voice of your community, or else you're gonna be citation a lot. You know what I mean? So like, in where I'm from, the older generation is still there, so they're not looking for innovation right now because they want their old community back, and it's like things ain't going to be like that anymore. So how can we evolve? And they're not ready to see the modern day community. So it's like, do you want to get it? Like, I see their point of, like, I hear their point of view and I see their point of view, but it's like times have changed a lot. So I would love to be a voice in my community. I don't know how to go about that. I know they say go to city hall, council meetings, but it's like, they post ours on like Facebook and our YouTube, but it's like people stuck in their ways because they feel like their pockets is being attacked. So it's like they don't want to change nothing because they feel like their pockets is going to hit. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, do I wait until this generation get out?
I feel like it's kind of the sense of, you know, how I feel like I've been talking about Hollywood and celebrities a lot, but you know how celebrities be like, oh, Hollywood don't want to pay for my movie, I'm gonna fund it myself. I feel like that's how we got to start taking the community on, because of course nobody's gonna really help us, but we also got to find other like-minded people that's really willing to put things out there for the community. Because even, for example, when you threw your little 90s party, you did it for no reason at all.
Right.
Granted, it was just here where we live at, out here where you live at. But it was still awesome, and it was still something for this community. And a lot of people was asking you the next year and years after that, like, oh, did you have another one? Because I feel like even little things like that, that's the spark of it. But you need people like you and people like whoever that's willing to just have the idea, whether it's just for their own selfish reasons. I just want to have a party for me because it's my birthday, but they open it up to the community, or I just want to have a cookout because it's the summertime, or basically how you did. Like, I feel like that is more needed because we don't really have things like that. But
I should make that an annual thing. I do keep getting a lot of requests about
yeah, because that was really nice. Even when you had to, I mean, I know a lot of people be selling dinners or stuff, but that's still like community based stuff though. Even people be hitting you up about stuff like that. So I feel like you really do be doing a lot in the community, but you just like me, and you just busy, and then you just have a lot of ideas, so you do something, and it be successful, but you just might not go back to do it because you're just on something else, or the time, or life, or whatever. But most of all the things you do are successful, and they all have an impact on the community. Like, she had fucking cops pulling up to buy meals and shit from her. Like, so yeah, I feel like you are a staple. I feel like you are a staple in your community, whether you know it or not, because anytime you do stuff, you do have the community that's supporting you.
Yeah. Okay. But I definitely do want to get involved in my community more, be more of a voice, Remember growing up, we used to have movies at the riverfront.
Yeah, I want stuff like that. I got a projector.
Like, now they guys going out to Renzi. Like, it's not the same.
Yeah, they'll never use. But they can really bring that back. I don't know why they never tried to like fix it or bring it back or revamp it. Like, they just don't even do nothing with it.
I feel like they feel like it's not quite safe to be in this area where it is, and it's more mutual putting it out Renzi. But I feel like it doesn't give the same.
I feel like it's the same though. It's like this one's closer to that hood, that one's closer to that hood.
Right, but it's like, but if we do it separate, then we're bringing in division, and that's not what we want for the community. But I also can't say how it is because I never went out there and watched the movie.
I did, because we used to live right by the waterfront, so I remember. I never went to the one in Renzi.
Yeah, so I can't say how from being down the riverfront versus being out Renzi, because I've never been to the movies out Renzi. But like,
yeah, I didn't even know they did it out Renzi.
Yeah, it's not. I feel like we used to be over down the riverfront every weekend.
Yeah, I remember the riverfront. And now it's like
once or twice in the summertime that you might have a movie playing out Renzi Park, but they need to start bringing on. They're starting to take the playgrounds away from the kids. So it's like,
I got
then y'all wonder why these kids is breaking in cars and breaking in stuff like that. Recreation centers is not even the same anymore. So it's like, I definitely want to.
You know what else it is too? Not to shine the light, but the drug dealers and gangbangers and stuff. I feel like even they used to be more community because they used to give money to the elders or to the people that was doing good. Like, all right, here, let me give money to your little foundation. You got this bus that's picking the kids up for church, or you know what I mean, or let me give you this money for go back to school fights. It's like it's no community in even that anymore. Like nobody's looking out for anybody.
So the Halloween that just passed last year, obviously, our community have trunk or treat. They do it on 2 separate days for each. Each projects. You know what I mean? So I'm from Harrison, right? I lived in Crawford before, whatever the case may be. So they make it so that if one village want to attend, they can, and the other one want to attend, they can. They don't run it on the same time because we already don't have enough police and fire department to support both areas. So, one do first, the next one do it another day or a couple days later. So, like I said, I passed out candy in my community, well, where I'm from, Harrison. And it was fantastic, phenomenal. Jamaica did her big one. It's like her annual thing that she came up with, and it's a success every year. So, like, we went first. Ours was first. Big candy, big food. It was just hours long. So then, like, the other community had theirs. And like you said, the drug dealers and everything used to help the community. They had about 2 to 3 cars on doing a trunk or treat. So horrible. So like you said, they're like, you're putting things out into the community, but also be for your community. Do the right thing. Not do a good deed.
Right.
The right thing.
That's
You already got
hilarious.
it. Do a good deed. You're already pushing it out into the community. Do right by your community.
Right.
That was like very like hurtful. Like we felt so bad that they did, and it's like now, do we put them together for a trunk or treat? Because obviously,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. The city can only do so much for a community. You know what I mean. So where I'm from, we did our big one. We all came together as a village and did that. And like the fire department and police department also provided. But they can, like I said, we don't have a lot of police departments. I mean, police and fire departments to
Like cover it and stuff.
cover that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that part, yes.
Yeah, that's one thing that I noticed. One of the big difference. It is because
The ice cream shop, you can't get $1 off a drug dealer if you wanted to.
which is crazy because no, that's
The
hilarious.
ice cream truck is over, come to the y'all ain't got it, man.
But for real, that's why I be like, I don't understand Pittsburgh because I've most of my friends now or associates or whatever, like coworkers, none of them are really from Pittsburgh, so they're opening my eyes up. And then I've been traveling a little bit. I mean, I ain't been going a lot of places, but I've been a little one too. But but they all mostly have the same type of comments where like they'll be like, oh, Pittsburgh's transportation sucks, like or they'll be like, everything in Pittsburgh is so close together, it's only 25-30 minutes together. But being born and raised here, you don't think about it like that. Our transportation do suck. We don't got a lot of buses that go places, or the buses are hourly. But if you go to Detroit or New York or Chicago or Atlanta, everything is literally like they say. You feel me? But here it's like, nah, I gotta be on this bus for an hour. Shit, what the fuck is you talking about? Like, it's little things like that. Or it just be like a lot of pride in other places. Like people, I'm from Atlanta or from like, there's more pride. I feel like here in Pittsburgh, of course, people is prideful to be from McKeesport or Northside or something. But there's nothing behind that. Right. And all the other states and cities or whatever, they have things behind that. In Atlanta, there's crime everywhere. But in Atlanta, a black person is going to do something, they're going to support their community. And in all those other predominantly black places, I feel like that's the difference. In LA, they have their pride. Oh, we're from Compton. Like it's very prideful there, and everybody's putting back into all their communities. But but here in Pittsburgh, there's not really a big black cultural identity here, but there is a small one. But we're not cultivating that, and it's dying off. And we don't have pride in that. Like, we say we're proud to be from Keysport or Northside or whatever, but we're not putting shit back into our communities for real. And that's the biggest difference that I see compared to everybody else. Like,
okay. Yeah, but that's like being the voice in your community. How would you say you found your voice in a relationship? Whether it's a friendship, intimate ship, any type of relationship. How would you say finding your voice in a relationship?
I feel like relationships, friendships, romantic ships are always a little bit harder to find your voice sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how to put that in words. But I guess you will find your voice by sticking up for yourself, whatever that might be. Because you might be, let's say, in a relationship. All right. So, for example, I don't have any sisters, but I have cousins. I have an older cousin, and she wasn't like, we're always super close. And because I was always more timid and just following her around, because I have a sister and I did look up to her and I did always have a good time being with her. But basically, I would do whatever she said. Michelle, turn the light off. Michelle, go upstairs and whatever. Michelle, you know what I mean? But one time, I didn't want to do it, and I'm just like, no, like, I don't want to go all the way in the attic to go get a fucking charger for you or whatever the hell it was. But it's just like, so that was one way. So I feel like eventually, like, the old phrase go, when she tired, she knew when she had enough. I feel like that go for friendships too, like or family ships or whatever. Like, when you tired, you know you tired. Right. But my cousin ain't do that crazy to me. But she literally asked me to go upstairs for something. But it was like all the way in the attic. We literally in the living room, and I'm just like, no. Well, it wasn't an argument, but she got mad though. I can see the attitude of her in the huff and puff, because she's like, what, for real? Because that was really like one of my first times telling her no after us being kids. Now we're like teenagers now, so she's really used to it. It's a habit to her. Like, yeah, what, you do it any other time? Really? Yeah, you know what I mean? But I'm like, because there's nothing wrong with you, and I don't feel like, just like you don't feel like it, I don't feel like it. Like, I don't want to go up there. So I feel like, just, again, it sounds cliche, but it's just like finding yourself, or whenever you just truly get tired, you just be like, I wish I had a more profound answer. I wish I had a more profound answer, but I don't. That's just what it is. When you get tired or something, I feel like when you're tired of a certain type of routine or something. Like, I was tired of my cousin. I mean, if she asked me to do stuff, I would do it, but it all depends. So it's like, no, I don't. Yeah, I was doing it before because I don't know, I guess I felt like I had to or something, or just because, again, it was a habit for me too. I was doing it all the time. But now I'm like, no, I'm older now, and I just, no, fuck out of here.
Finding my voice in a relationship was, I wasn't in a mentally abusive relationship. I think I might have spoken on this episode before, but like, finding my voice in that relationship was like crazy. I laugh now because it's like, girl, you put up a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So like, it was like more so like a mental thing, like, you're weight, you're this, you're that, da da da. And like, you never know what abuse is until you really, you're in it. Like, and there's different types of abuse. Like I said, mine's mental. So one day I'm like sitting on the toilet, and I'm like, Google. You be on the toilet, you be Googling shit. So I'm like Googling like abuse, and like, they've been breaking down our comments. I'm like, oh, a mentally abusive relationship. So obviously I brought that to my partner, and it was up in an uproar. You think I mentally abused you? I don't want people to know you think I mentally abused them. How do I mentally abuse you? Da 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 da. I'm like, see this, that. You did this. So like, finding my voice, like, it took me to Google. So finding my voice.
That's
hilarious.
From
Google. Google. Y'all. Don't be afraid to Google. Even though they're going to say you got cancer all the time. Don't be afraid to Google.
I'm not
Google.
listening to her.
Google help me find my
Always get a second opinion.
Yeah, don't just say Google's cancer.
But that's hilarious.
But they definitely going to tell you got cancer. Or you have a heart attack. Those are the two things people will tell you. Heart attack and cancer. Okay. So let's get into our personal stories. Do you have any personal stories to share about
well,
finding your voice?
I feel like I've been sharing personal stories this whole time. I be talking too much, but because I feel like I'm just a natural storyteller. That's how I connect. I got to connect it to something that made sense to me. But I'm trying to think. I don't know. You go first. Let me think.
Struggle. Because this happened. How long have I been in an apartment? I've been in an apartment. How long have I been in school?
16 years.
Maybe.
It has to at least be like 8. Evan's 10.
It's past 10 years of being in school.
No, I'm talking about you living here. But maybe, yeah, it's been over 10 years for me. Yeah, ho.
For 13 years.
Yeah, exactly. I was like 3 years off. Wow.
Like, not telling a story, it happened 12 years ago. So, me finding my voice for real was when I was in a vulnerable state. I had a situation in the household where my mother's ex-boyfriend was sexually texting me. And I said texting, not touching. It sounds kind of similar, but I said texting, acting like an individual, like I met him before or whatever the case may be. And I don't want to go all into details, but you know how they say in black household, whatever happens in this house, stay in this house. So like I chose to leave because my mom chose for him to stay, and I didn't want to be in that environment anymore. And my vulnerable state was I was walking around just crying,
I was homeless and crying and angry because it's like I had a car. So I was sleeping in my car for some nights, and some people let me stay over, but nobody ever knew why I had left my mom's house. Because stop yours real quick. So nobody understood why I was just jumping house to house, sleeping in my car, no nothing. But it was just like I had reached out to one of my ex-boyfriends, and he had a girlfriend at the time. And I was like, I just need to talk to someone. You know, like, he don't know my family. So, like, he knew my mom and stuff like that. But he didn't know, like, my actual family. What is my other immediate family. So I was like, I just need to talk to someone about it. And he was like, listen, I ain't got time for you. So that was like, like, you know, that's when you start, when you in situations and people start, like, you know, ducking and dodging, you, it's like, oh, okay, I see where we stand. But anyway, I finally, like, break down to my family where I was standing. I was like, this was going on. She kept him there. That's why I chose to run away. Well, I didn't want to choose to leave the house. Mm-hmm. And that so forth and so on. So, like, me finding my voice was me actually forget what that just don't leave the household situation. Like, it was eating me alive. Like, I was literally just walking around crying, like, who can I talk to? Because, you know, when you bring that up to someone, sometimes they don't believe you. And it's like, well, where's the proof? And the crazy thing is, I deleted the proof. I deleted the proof. I had one text message left after deleting all the messages. It was like, my friend told me she used to have sex with her mom's boyfriend. And I was no dummy. Like, I graduated high school, like, you know, so that was like a far-fetched text message, like, that was very descriptive, like, sex, mom's boyfriend. Yeah. What the fuck? So, like, even how I found out it was him is, like, I was went to my mom's phone. I was like, you know, texting, like, I went, you know how, like, when you type the number in Like, it pops up if it's in your contacts.
Mm-hmm.
His picture had popped up. So I'm like, Mom, I want to talk to you about something when you get off of work. Because she was on her break when she came in. And, like, she called him, like, oh, she said she has something to talk to me about, but she's not trying to say, can you see what's wrong? So he calls me, like, hey, what's wrong? Your mom said you wanted to, you had something to talk to her about. I was like, oh, nothing. It's just something I got going on. I just need to talk to my mom about it. So it's like, he's like, oh, you sure you can talk to me about anything, da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, nigga, you caught. This is why you pressing to say what you want to talk to your mom about. Nigga, you caught. But, like, that was me finding my voice at a vulnerable state, and my family actually taking it in and really, like, being on my side with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, some households, it's like, stop telling them stories. Ain't nobody did this, ain't nobody did that. But I was happy that they did that, because it was like, okay, y'all took that in, and when I come through another situation of anything, I know that y'all going to hear me out and not dismiss me and my problems and my issues.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that was, like, the first time I ever really found my voice vocally as telling my family that my mother's ex-boyfriend was sexually texting me, acting like someone else. So, like, that right there, I don't play them games. So, all y'all predators, I hope your dick fall off. I hope you get hit by a car. I don't hope. I pray. It's like, I'm sorry. But,
Oh, excuse me, I'm
I
so
don't play
sorry.
those games. And we should always be listening ears to people when it comes to that situation. And don't dismiss it, because it is happening. Even though we don't want to believe that it's happening, it is happening, and we need to do something about it. Just like the situation that's going on now about, what's that girl's name? And her aunt's, was it her aunt's ex-boyfriend who impregnated her and killed her, the 13-year-old?
Oh, yeah, I don't really know enough about it, but I've been seeing people talk about it on social media.
Mm-hmm. But yes, there's signs that be there. And, sorry, we really fucking some fruity though.
She keeps saying we, but it's her.
Oh, you had she had the first segment of fruity. I had the second set of fruity. This is not a promo either. But the blue ones are definitely fire. Fire. So I guess this is it. I think we are ending.
Yeah, I feel like I said all I had to say. I shared all my little stories and antidotes. Hopefully you guys continue to shine your light on yourself, walk in the light that you want the world to see you in, and all that jazz. Yeah. Bye.